I'm already starting to work on We were at a Kiddush yesterday, and I started singing the Snegan, and so many people were singing it wrong. It's amazing how people, things, it's like broken telephone, eventually things get broken. You sing, they add to it and so on. I didn't want to break up the Kiddush, so I didn't say anything. Nizgav Hashem levadei, Hashem levadei b'yoyim hahu. Nizgav Hashem levadei b'yoyim hahu. Yosef Yaakov levadei Vayeishaev Kishimai Vayeishaev Avadaloi Zashochan Avadaloi Zashochan Yosef Yaakov levadei Vayeishaev Kishimai Avadaloi Zashochan Avadaloi Zashochan Nizgav Hashem levadei b'yoyim hahu. Nizgav Hashem levadei b'yoyim hahu. I didn't know they put out a paperback edition. I have it. Okay, page 255, and these are the parashiyot. This week is Vayeishaev. I'm looking at myself over here. I'm pretty pale. I was pretty sick the last few days. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's really bad. Okay, so Baruch Hashem better. Anyway, these are the parashiyot that we're always reading. They always come out on Chanukah, particularly Miketz. Miketz is always like Shabbos Chanukah, pretty much, if not most of the time anyway. So, obviously all the Hasidic Sfarim are going to talk about Miketz and Chanukah, but this week is Vayeishaev, and this is the beginning, the last 13 chapters of Bereshis. It's all one long story about Yosef and his brothers, right? And the story is Yaakov is choosing Yosef to be the leader, obviously, but the fact that he's giving him the Ksonis Pasim, the coat of Pasim means literally stripes. Rashi says that brings a nice medrash that the letters of Pasim also allude to the journey that Yosef is going to have to go through for Tifar, Yishmaelim, whoever else. Let's see here. This is the case. This is the wrong version. Anyway, but basically, it's it's a very, very interesting story, besides the fact, Lahavdil, that there's a famous Broadway play, Joseph and the make an amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat or whatever. Have you ever seen it? I don't know, I never saw it either.
Yeah.
You saw it? But whenever the Torah tells you a story in great detail, it's not stam, because there are other great stories in the Torah. When I say great stories, I don't mean like, oh, this is a great story, but I mean like, like really important stories, where the whole story is told in one chapter. For example, the Akedah, right? The story of the binding of Yitzchak. It's in one chapter. That's a major, major story in our history, right? In our daily lives. One chapter. It doesn't tell you like what went on for those 3 days till they got to Hara Moriah and what was he thinking. The Midrashim speak about it, but it doesn't like what was just one discussion between Yitzchak and Avram. Yitzchak says, by the way, where's the animal? Where's the sheep? Avram says, oh, God will show us, my son. Right? And then there's other stories in the Torah that also like Adam Machava, how much space is given to Adam Machava? Not very much, in the creation of the world, 1.5 chapters. That's it, Here, Yosef and his brothers, 13 chapters. Right? And you know that Maaseh Avot, Siman Labanim. The Gemara says that whatever our ancestors went through, it's what do you say that in literature? It's like like sort of foretelling, or it's a sign for the future. This is what future generations are going to go through, and we're going to have to work it out. So you know that today's Chai Kislev, the 18th day of Kislev. Tonight and tomorrow and the next day in Lubavitch, we don't say Tachnun, because for the Lubavitcher Hasidim and for Hasidim in general, but particularly for Lubavitch, we say Yom Tov. It's the outside of the Maggid of Mizvich, and it's the day that the Alter Rebbe was released from prison. And why was he in prison? Well, the Misnagdim were doing all kinds of things to prevent the advance of Hasidus, but on a spiritual level, there was a kitrig in heaven. There was an accusation in heaven, like what the Hasidim are going around and sharing the deepest teachings with ignorant people, and and who they're making like secrets of the Torah available to the average person in the street. Like today, you punch in the Chabad.org, you can or Kabbalah. Whatever, and you can get all these things that in the past, if you weren't a Talmid Chacham, if you weren't 40 years old, you weren't even allowed to look at these things, right? There's a story that that one afternoon, this man came in very angry by the Talmidim of the Maggid. The Maggid is the Maggid of Mizvich, and he's the one who became the leader of the Hasidim after the Baal Shem Tov passed away. This man came in very, very angry, with a page of Zohar that he found in the gutter, and he came in. Look what you guys are doing, like such holy material. You're giving that. You're bringing these things to the ordinary people, and they have no idea what it is. And I found this in the gutter. So Reb Levi Yitzchak and Alter Rebbe were very close friends, and they were standing together. And Alter Rebbe said, "Let me tell you a ma'aseh. There was a king, who had an only son, and they knew he was very, very sick. And the doctors basically gave up on him. And one healer came and said, I could make him a potion that can save his life. And he said, but to make that potion, I need a certain precious gem, very rare. And that gem was the king's, was the royal gem of his crown. That was like the most beautiful stone in his crown. So the king took off his crown immediately, and he says, here, take it, do whatever you need, save my son. Anyway, he took the stone and he ground it up and made it into a potion, but by the time it was ready, the prince was already so paralyzed, he couldn't even open his mouth, so they just poured it over his lips. And obviously a whole bunch ran down the sides. But Baruch Hashem, a little bit got in, and from that little bit that got in, he came back to his consciousness. So the Alter Rebbe says it's the same thing with the Zohar, with the secrets of the Torah. The Jewish people are like the prince of Hashem, and the Jewish nation is in a very bad state, almost comatose. The Jews were like, besides the Talmidei Chachamim, besides the scholars, the average Jew knew hardly anything, just knew that I'm a Jew, and usually that meant when's the next pogrom, and when are we going to be kicked out from this community and have to find another community, and so on. If you've read about that period, have you ever read about that period, Ziva?
Which period?
Yeah, 250 years ago, 300 years ago.
By the pogroms?
Yeah, not just. I mean, there was the famous Khmelnytsky pogroms 400 years ago. Tach v'tat. You know that what happened then was like, given the difference in technology between then and the technology of the 20th century, it was like a Holocaust. This guy Khmelnytsky invaded community after community, butchered 40,000 Jews across the Ukraine and everything. Mm-hmm. Like people were like desperate. So the Alter Rebbe says, Yiddishkeit was like pretty much going down, and the Zohar and the secrets of the Torah, that's like the most precious gem of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And it was necessary to take it and use it to save the people. And of course, the people are so badly off that some of it's going to end up in the gutter, but some of it is going to get in, and people are going to be saved. Anyway, the man left, and a little while later, the Maggid woke up from his rest, and he calls in Reb Yitzchak and the Alter Rebbe, and he says, "What happened here while I was asleep?" And he told him, and he said, "You should know you saved my life, because while he was sleeping, his neshama was up in Shemayim and was on trial, exactly for that. What business do you have? Who gave you the right to bring these teachings to the public?" And he says, your argument with the prince, and the prince who wasn't well, you saved my life. So really what the whole thing was about was that there was a big kitrug in Shemayim, that you can't just take something holy and put it out in a way that it could be misused. Okay, so we're on page 255. Anyway, so Hasidim celebrates that the Alter Rebbe was in prison for 53 days, and with his release, was considered by the Hasidim as a victory for Hasidus. And Hasidim and Lubavitch, like they make there's a big concert tonight at Binyanei Ha'omad. There's going to be a special one on Tuesday night for women. Huge book sale, 4 for 100, and like it's a big event. But Hasidim from all over, all groups come. It's like Mamish, Vishness, Klosenberg, because they have Sforim over 600. They make a special deal with the publishers, like over 600 different books, and they also have an English section. 10 shekels admission to the book sale, but it's like, and Tuesday night is reserved for the women. And there are Farbrengens for the women, there are Farbrengens for the men. It's like a real, unbelievable, huge event. Have you been there?
Mm.
It's just thousands of people.
I think there was something last night also.
Last night, the book sale started last night.
Yeah.
There
was something in B'nai, a whole thing.
A whole event, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, once I did a Shabbaton in Colorado, and one of the women that was there said, I would really love you to come to my shul. Where's your shul? In Miami. Mm-hmm. So I said, the next time I come to Miami, I'll be in touch, So a couple of years later, I was going to Miami to visit my mother-in-law. She was having surgery. And so I let her know. And she convinced the rabbi to actually talk to me on the phone.
She convinced him.
So he says to me, who's your Rebbe? So I say, the Lubavitch Rebbe and Reb Shlomo Carlebach.
Yeah.
So he says, I don't hold of either one of them.
Oh.
So I said,
I
said, Reb Yid, if you have anybody sitting in your shul today, it's thanks to these two people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. He didn't appreciate that, but that was...
So did you go there? Or?
No, he did.
He said no.
He wouldn't have me.
Oh, okay.
So I did something at her house, but
that was nice.
But there are still people who think like Hasidim,
Yeah, they think that about a lot of things.
Anyway,
So what?
Eile Toldot Yaakov. So the title over here on page 255 is Teva, nature. Now, by the way, an interesting thing to know is that HaTeva, the nature, is numerically the same value as Shem Elokim, the name Elokim. And what is that supposed to mean? It means that nature is nothing more than a garment of God. God hides in nature. Now, what's interesting about the word Teva is you also have the word Toveya, drowning, right? So God is, so to speak, Toveya Bateva. God is, so to speak, drowned in nature. Like in other words, you don't see God, you just see nature. Eile Toldot Yaakov. L'nivreim b'teva ein bechira. Those who are born strictly by nature, they don't have any choice. In other words, all creatures are the way they are because that's the way they are. A monkey is a monkey. A cow is a cow. A snake is a snake, right? The sun doesn't decide, oh, I don't feel like shining today, or I feel like shining. The sun does what it does. The moon doesn't have any choice whether it's going to reflect the sun's light or not. When God blessed Abraham and Sarah with the child, Hishtana gufa shel Sarah, Hishtana actually, Sarah's body actually changed, right? She already had gone beyond the age of being able to have children, and her body changed. And it became like the body of a young woman again. Avraham לעומת זאת נותר בן 99. But Avram remained 99. So his body didn't change. הסיבה היא עמוקה מאוד, and the reason is very deep. אברהם החדיר אלוקות לעולם במדרגה של בחירה. Avram penetrated the world with godliness on a level of choice. הוא בחר שחוקי הטבע לא יחולו עליו. His choice was that the laws of nature shouldn't affect him. אבל אצל שרה, לידת יצחק הייתה במדרגה של טבע. With Sarah, her body became like a young woman again, and she gave birth naturally. Teva שמעבר לבחירה. Teva, that is beyond choice. שאינו נזקק לה. It doesn't need choice. היא החדירה בעולם אלוקות במדרגה של מעבר לבחירה. She brought into the world godliness that is beyond choice. Okay, these are a little bit difficult to understand, but yes. Look,
Why are we learning this here?
Right, we're coming to Yaakov.
Oh.
Okay. The Indian is that a Jew has to know. Okay, so first of all, you have to know that you have free choice. Right? A lot of people say, what do you want from me? I am the way I am because that's the way I am. It's not, complain to my mother. Don't you dare. Right? Complain to my father, like in a patch, right? The Jew has to know that we have free choice. Okay, that's very important to know. It's also important to know how much free choice do you have? And that's a whole topic in itself. How much free choice do you have? Do you have free choice at every single given moment over everything? No. Sometimes, just giving one example, sometimes you made a decision 5 years ago that already messed up your free choice even for today. You still have free choice. You deal with that, with addictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
To bring back an addict to a state of free choice is a long journey, right?
Yes.
So now, you hear miracle stories of people just matter of fact, a couple of months ago, there was a story. There is this couple that for something like 30 years they're married.
I saw that.
And they've been going, no children, and they've been going every Shabbos, bringing Shabbos food for the maternity ward. Did you see the story?
I did.
And they were making every Shabbos in the hospital. And after 30 years, she had a baby.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere else too. There was something.
Yeah, the story went around like crazy.
Yeah, there too.
Anyway,
really
so
crazy.
Yeah, so you have stories like that, Yeah, you have stories like that, but in general, there is such a thing as nature, but when you can you how much can you change through prayer, and whose prayers and so on? That's why people go to tzaddikim for a bracha, because they have the ability. Like Hashem listens. There's a story that once this Rebbe from a Litvish yeshiva went to his Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. This is back in the 50s. His son needed an operation. It was dangerous to do it. It was dangerous not to do it. And so Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky said to him, go to the square Rebbe. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky was not a chassid. So he said, why are you sending me to a Hasidic Rebbe? Like, you're also a big tzaddik. So he says, but I know that Hashem doesn't like to disappoint a square Rebbe. this Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky said this, and there are like stories like that, lots of them. It doesn't mean that they're able to help everybody that comes to them.
It takes a little more time,
but in any case,
there's something to be said for this.
Yeah. So Yaakov Avinu now, so Avram Avinu brought godliness into the world of on a level of choice. In other words, what exactly that means, I don't know. Rivka, Sarah brought in godliness even beyond choice. Okay, we'll see what that's going to mean. Yaakov Avinu haya me'ever lebechira legamri. Yaakov Avinu was already on a level of beyond choice completely. וגם הילדים שלו ירשו את המדרגה הזו, and his children also inherited that level. הוא מסר את כל העומק הזה לילדים שלו, he gave this over to his children completely. And so for example, right, it's only from Yaakov on that all his descendants are Jewish, right? Like it was last week's parsha, Mitosei Shlomo, all his children are Jewish. Right? Avraham had Yitzchak and Yishmael. Yitzchak had Yaakov and Esav. But from Yaakov and on, it's a Jewish nation. You're born a Jew, you're a Jew. I once read a story that the guy, this producer who did Gone with the Wind, you ever heard of Gone with the Wind?
Yeah.
So it was a famous movie. And this guy in Hollywood, and I never saw it, by the way. And he was like among those Jews who was pretending that he's not Jewish anymore. Didn't want anybody to know that he's Jewish. So somebody was raising money in Hollywood for Israel. So he comes to this guy and he says, we're raising money for, in the 50s, Israel was not doing very well yet. And he says to the guy, he says, why are you coming to me? Like, you know that I'm not Jewish anymore. And nobody even knows that I'm Jewish. So he knew that this guy was a little bit of a gambler. So he said to him, you want to bet that people know that you're a Jew? So he said, yeah. So he said, okay, you give me 3 names of people that you are convinced they don't think that you're Jewish. And let's call them up and see what they say. And if you're right, then I won't bother you. If you're wrong, you're going to give us a big donation. So he said, okay. And gave him 3 names. They called up the first one. Is so-and-so Jewish? So the guy says, tell the idiot to stop pretending. We all know that he's Jewish. Call up the second one, they get the same kind of an answer. Call up the third one, same answer. Everybody knows. A Jew is a Jew. That's beyond choice. There's a story that Rav Weinberg, Oliver Shalom, the one who did the lessons in Tanya, that book. So he was one of the Rebbe's first emissaries. And whenever he would go on a trip, he would come into the Lubavitcher Rebbe first and tell them where he's going and get a bracha. So this trip he was going to to visit some Jewish communities in Africa, like Morocco and other places. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe says, what's the itinerary? And he tells them this place, this place, this place. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe knew the whole world, by the way. He knew the globe. And anyway, so the Lubavitcher Rebbe says, by any chance are you going to be in such and such a location? She says, no, it's not on the itinerary. The Lubavitcher Rebbe takes out a box of matzahs. It says, if you happen to be there, there's a Jew. Find him and tell him that the Lubavitcher Rebbe from Brooklyn sent him matzahs.
Who was that?
Somewhere in Africa. I think, Anyway, Rabbi Weinberg's on the plane, and he being a chassid, he knew that he's obviously going to be there. And they're flying, and all of a sudden the pilot comes on, fasten your seatbelts, we're having engine trouble. Don't get nervous, things should be okay. 10 minutes later, we're making an emergency landing. Where are they making this emergency landing? In that location that the Rebbe asked if he's going to be there. We land safely, Baruch Hashem. After 15 minutes, the pilot comes back on air. He says we're in a very remote area, and it's going to take 3 days till we get the parts and fix the plane. So we're putting you up in hotels and so on. So Rabbi Weinberg gets off the plane. He knows now he has 3 days to find this Yid. Goes around the entire downtown, all the business districts, knocks on door after door, door after door. Are you Jewish? And most of the people, they don't even know what a Jew is. And it's already the third day, a couple of hours before going back to the airport. It's a hot day. He finally goes into a restaurant to get a cup of water. He asks the waitress, are there any Jews around? She says, I'm one of the few people that actually knows what a Jew is, and I can tell you there are no Jews here. So he's drinking the water. A couple of minutes go by, and the guy cleaning the tables comes over, and he says, you looking for a Jew? He says, yes. He says, I'm the only Jew in town. Takes out the box of matzah, says, Lubavitcher Rebbe sent you matzahs. The guy fainted. What was his story? He was a Holocaust survivor, and he decided that he's going to find himself a place to live where they don't even know what Jews are. And he was living there. And as time was going on, he was getting lonelier and lonelier. And he was too freaked out from the Holocaust to go live where Jews live. And he did his research, and he found this place to live. But he decided 30 days ago that he's just going to give up being a Jew. He's going to join the local whatever. And at the last minute, he said, Hashem, if you're really there and you want me to be a Jew, I'm giving you 30 days. It's just today's the 30th day. Okay. In any case, as I is this, you're back in Montreal, sometimes I would go into these bars, and when I was in university, and these French Canadians would come over to me and they'd say, hey, it's a Juif, you're a Jew. I'd say, yeah. And somebody would say, oh, I don't like Jews. Like the French Canadians are very open, versus the English Canadians. And somebody would say, so nice to see you here, But in any case, you can't hide it. You walk into a place, take off your yarmulke, it doesn't matter. They look at you, they say, this is a Jew. Anyway, so Yaakov Avinu brought in this beyond choice, right? There's no more choice. You're born a Jew, you're a Jew, period. We don't ask you. Nobody asks you if you want to, you don't want to. Your mother is Jewish, you're a Jew. Sometimes the heart is broken when you see kids coming from very religious families who are choosing to leave religion. They left because their house was not full of natural Judaism. And היהדות שלהם לא הייתה טבעית. Their Yiddishkeit was not natural. היא הייתה מלאכותית ומעושה. It was, how do you say מלאכותית? New shepherd? How much you don't speak Hebrew with the sheep? Malachuti means artificial. From the word malacha, right? It's like something that you make it happen. Understand? It's not real. You made it. So their Yiddishkeit was like forced labor type of thing. Like once Reb Shlomo even used the expression a religious concentration camp.
Yeah.
I had a friend over here that his son was learning in Einefendana yeshivas, and I went to visit him. And they used to keep the gates locked, and they allowed him to come and see me. And he says it's like a prison,
That's so sad. I see this a lot. I see it a lot.
And
it breaks my heart.
Now, this relates to, first of all, you see, we're already talking about Chanukah, right? We're talking about the issue of, do we want to stay Jewish or not? Like, what was going on at Chanukah time was a big majority of the Jews were Hellenizing.
Yeah.
They were assimilating. They went so far that the big event in the big, like it wasn't how many concerts you were going to, was you had to go and participate at the gymnasiums, and in the gymnasiums by the Greeks, like they used to go in the nude. Yeah. And there's a lot of Jewish guys they would actually do this, was called in the Gemara the Mefer Brisa Shel Avram Avinu. They would have plastic surgery done so that it shouldn't be obvious that they're circumcised. Okay? Wow. And the Gemara says Mefer Brisa Shel Avram Avinu and the Chelik Leilam Abo. But they were Jews who went so far, and the assimilation was great, right? And so, and they all came from homes, like, at some point that were religious homes. But when kids grow up and they're told, you have to do this, you have to do this. Of course you have to do this, but there's no natural, like Shabbos doesn't feel natural, or Kashrus doesn't feel natural. So then, the kids grow up and they say, you can keep it for yourself, I don't want it, ההבדל בין מורה להורה, the difference between a teacher and a parent, שמורה יכול ללמד מה צריך לבחור לעשות. The teacher can teach you what you're supposed to choose. אבל הורים מנחילים את הקדושה הטבעית. Parents' job is to give their children the natural holiness. שאינה זקוקה לבחירה. A Yiddishkeit which it's independent of choice. Once Reb Shlomo put it like this, he said, do I have a free choice to go to a Chinese restaurant on Friday night? She says, yes. Do I have free choice to go to a Chinese restaurant on Friday night? No. The Torah begins with the letter Beis, which is 2, right? In other words, it starts with choice, right? But then the Aseret HaDibrot starts with an Aleph. You start with your choice and you go to a point where it's beyond choice. It's beyond choice. Okay? Every civilization, every major civilization tried to wipe out Yiddishkeit. None of them are left. I mean, the Roman civilization, we're still dealing with Edom, but like, I have a friend whose mother came to the States from Russia when he was a kid. He